Hello there, Brian here with BG Model Workshop. Got some shop card here to share. I'd like to say thank you to Big Eddie 1231 over at Ground Zero Customs. Big Eddie, that's a pretty sweet looking car. I like the artwork on that. That's a fun looking truck. Also, Rambler 69, this is Old Tom. Old Tom is actually a lot nicer than the clown on the card would make you think he is, but that's a pretty sweet looking card there, Tom. I really appreciate that too. And then we got Classic Plastic 101 Hangout. This is done by Chris Cortell. I got this as some swag from Mike, Chris's brother, and we really hope that Chris is doing better and everything's going to turn out okay for him. That can be a rough thing he's going through. I'm sorry to hear about that, but yeah, we hope he's doing better. And then one of my favorites, Paul Turley over at the Model Factory. Paul, this is the very first card I actually got. I wrote Paul after seeing that he had these in stock on one of his YouTube posts. So this is the very first one that I got. I really appreciate that. It started my collection, and I can't wait for this collection to grow and get larger. Paul's been a real inspiration. Even if I don't make any other YouTube videos, I just had to make this one and say thank you to him for all the inspiration that he's been doing for us. All right, enough jabbering. On to the styrene. Over here we got the AMT Ertl, also MPC Swamp Rat Jeep CJ-5. This is a repop. It was a buyer's choice remake. It comes with the swamper and wagon wheel style wheels and this top here, which actually turned out to be quite well, it's not great. So moving on. I did not build it like this. I'm doing it more of a stock look. Here we go. I went with the steel wheels, you know, the male Jeep wheels, because I wanted this to look like it was probably a restoration that was done maybe in the 1990s, something that was done on a budget. Speaking of budgets, I didn't want to do too many trick things to this. If I went with the swampers and wagon wheels that came with the kit, I felt I would probably end up having to raise the suspension, lengthen drive shafts, extend the shocks, and that kind of stuff, and I just didn't want to go through that because I just got done with a couple of builds that were kind of hairy for clients, and we got them done. They look great. The clients are very happy, but I just wanted something that was more of a palate cleanser, so to speak, get me kind of interested into just building for fun again. So the only trick things that we did on there was some duct tape seat belts. We used a little bit of bare metal foil for the clasps, for the seat belt clasps, and then a little bit of shrink tubing here on the roll bar for some padding. That was about it. As far as the Jeep itself goes, we went with the stock engine, nothing fancy there. It's the 4-cylinder Go Devil engine. I went with a French blue, and that was kind of a bright color, so we ended up doing a bit of an oil and grime wash on there to help tone that blue down because it was just popping out of the engine compartment. Let's take the body off and take a look at the chassis and running gear. Here we go. The wheels are still not fully in place yet. The weird thing about this kit is the pins that are on the front axle to hold the wheels on are fine, no problem. But the pins that come off the rear axle are a narrower diameter than the actual hubs are. So we're going to get the body attached permanently, figure out how the wheels are going to look in relation to that, do some alignment, and then probably tack them on there with some CA glue so they'll stay on there nice and straight along with the body. So with the engine and transmission, we just did regular aluminum, nothing too fancy. Let's get you a little bit of a close-up there. Yep, there we go. Just did a straight rust color on the exhaust manifold and then did some oil grime wash over the top of that. I think that looks pretty cool. Just went with the stock fan again. Nothing too fancy. Running gear looks pretty cool. Don't know if you can see that there or not, but it turns out it was easier to take the exhaust manifold and exhaust pipe, glue them together in one piece, and then thread them through and put them on there than it was to try and attach it to the engine block and match up what was already in place there. I found that that was easier to do as one unit, oddly enough. So here's passenger side. Again, there's that wonky wheel wanting to take off there. So we just did a little bit of gloss black highlights on the engine block for the starter, and I believe that's the oil tank up there on top there. And then kind of did a muted gold color for the little itty bitty carburetor that's on there. Tiny engine, so you don't need much aspiration. But kind of happy with the chassis and everything. I was surprised. This kit was an older kit that I had gotten at a swap meet when I was up in Oregon, so that must have been about 5-6 years ago. The chassis was straight, level, no problem at all. It was a joy to build, went together fast, leaf springs accommodated the axles just fine. Everything's true and straight. The only complaint would be the axle hubs on the rear here don't quite fit on the axle tube itself. Other than that, no real big issues there. With the body, let's move this guy out of the way. With the body, I found the chrome to be kind of goopy and kind of thick and everything, especially here on the hinges for the windshield, because this is a separate part, and then right in here, this little hinge area, that's a separate piece also that glues to the windshield. I didn't like how the chrome looked on that. It just made it look large and gaudy, so we dunked them in the purple pond to strip them. It came right off, no problem at all. And now the windshield still has articulation. So I'm kind of happy with that. The chrome that got stripped off there by the purple pond allowed those pins to fit into the hinges just fine. So I was really happy with that. On the back, I just mounted a steel spare tire. You know, nothing too fancy. And then can't decide on whether or not we want to do a back seat in here or not. I'm kind of liking it without the back seat. Gives it more of a utility look. And let's put this all back together. Oh, there goes the wheel. You picked a fine time to leave me, loose wheel. There we go. Awesome. Didn't think you're going to get a song in this, did you? Alright, there we go. So, with that all put back together, it's time to do a special little test I devised for this model kit. And that's to see how cool it looks with a surfboard. Here's a special test surfboard. And let's see how it looks. Hey, that looks alright. That's a cool looking Jeep. Yeah, that's me on top there, that little picture. That's what I look like in real life. Alright, cool. So, just want to say again, thank you to the model community on YouTube. I really appreciate all the stuff you guys have been doing. It's a friendly, happy community, it seems like. I'm glad to be joining it. I'm so excited to see what's going on out there. Every day I check my email to see what's new for all the subscribers that I got, all the subscriptions I got going on. And thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please place them down below. Again, this is the first video I've ever attempted. I'm a little nervous, you might tell by my voice, but again, I'm also pretty excited. So, thanks for watching. Hope you'd enjoyed. Bye.